I can't believe Carnage is finally in live action.
Yo, what is up, dudes and dudettes? Your friendly neighbor JaxBlade is back. And for today's video, it was actually inspired by a conversation I was having with my friend because we were just going through marathoning this this YouTuber named AR Manga, because he does all these videos on like Baki logic, and there were just parts, they were just having us die and laugh, and we were crying. It was hilarious. And there was this one part he brought up about Spec, the criminal, you know, the 6-foot bald guy who's like a JoJo villain. And he talks about how Spec just got effed up the A so bad by Hanayama, who's a dude who would make Broly blush with his muscles. And basically, this dude gets put into a coma. And then when he's in the coma, we find out that he's actually like 97 years old and his body just begins to atrophy, all his muscles begin to shrink. And so like, he's just stuck there for a bit and it's like, okay, well, he's dead as fuck. But then later on, we find out that through the power of his own imagination, he is sending heat and contractions to various parts of his body so that his body starts to bulk up to what it used to be. And it's just like he has not moved a single inch of muscle. He's just there in a coma using his imagination to get buff. And the reason this sparked a conversation was because, you know, as many of you follow this channel know, like I went to college for kinesiology, fitness science, and all the stuff like exercises, so this stuff really intrigues me. And there's a lot of stuff in Baki that is like based in reality, but it's animated to be like more extravagant. I like that word, animate. I'm gonna add that to Urban Dictionary later. And so this sparked my curiosity of like, could you actually build muscle in a coma without any excess help? Like the nurses aren't helping you curl, like you're just like by yourself sitting there statically. Would you be able to build muscle? And I was surprised by the findings. So the way they explain this in the series is that even though Spec is in a coma, various parts of his body are heating up in places showing that he is contracting the muscle, and then they are able to assess that he is imagining that he's swimming through thick syrup. And because he's imagining himself doing this, his body is tensing in a way that's very similar to the stimulus of which if he was actually in that situation. And the fact that he is actually able to swim laps in this very thick syrup he is imagining would lead to tremendous strength gains, because the fact that you have to be insanely strong to be able to do that regardless. And we know Spec is insanely strong. I mean, the dude fought Hanayama, nearly won with fucking cheats, and he also fucked up the Statue of Liberty, so that shows how strong this motherfucker is. So the fact that he's swimming laps in this imaginary syrup shit does make sense of why his body is growing back to what it is, because, you know, it's anime and fiction and all that shit. Because like, could you actually imagine swimming in syrup that thick? Like, that would just be absolutely like the strength it would take is just astronomical. So is this fictitious nonsense, or does it actually have some validity? Well, I actually have a few studies to share with you. In 1992, a study discovered increases in strength were possible in participants who imagined their training sessions. Researchers measured maximum voluntary contraction, MVC, a measurement of strength determining the maximum amount of force a muscle can generate held for a short period of time. So as we've talked about before in my Myers video, isometric training. The researchers reported that the group imagining training sessions for 4 weeks, 20 sessions, increased their MVC by 22%. The group that actually performed training sessions increased their MVC by 30%. Not much difference, right? So hold on. So yes, it is true. You can imagine strength training and harvest some of the effects and benefits. Motor imagery is used in rehabilitation purposes and also used in the area of sports psychology. Motor imagery involves mentally performing an action like imagining doing a bicep curl. Hence, adaptation occurs in your brain called the cortical synchronization. With cortical synchronization, your brain emits neural oscillations or brain waves, sending signals to your biceps as if you had actually performed a bicep curl. So I know some of you are probably thinking, shit, I don't gotta go to the gym anymore, okay? I ain't gotta work out. I'm just gonna sit here and imagine like SpongeBob. And it's like, sorry bro, it don't work that way. But it is playing some validity in this animated world because, like, as we've talked about before with muscle memory in the sense of myonuclei being in the cells and just being stimulated to be reactivated and getting cells. So if you don't know what that is, watch my Uncle Iroh Would That Work Out video where I talk about it super in depth. But for people new here who haven't seen that video, don't worry, I will briefly recap it, but I highly recommend you check it out after this. Is one of my best videos. So what are myonuclei? Myonuclei are these little muscle cells that are built up when you start adding size and mass to your frame and also adding strength to your frame. So when you start strength training, not only are you building muscle, you're also adding myonuclei to the cells. And these are incredibly beneficial because if you ever, let's say, get injured or fall off your training, they will help you in the sense of building muscle memory. So when you start retraining again, they'll help you get back to where you were faster than initially it took you to get there. Now, there are two different types of muscle memory, as I talked about before in that Iro video. Like, there's the ones that help you, like, you know, your body just like get ultra instinct and stuff like that. But then there's also the ones where, like, when you are gone for a long period of time, you start stimulating that muscle, it grows up, and it like will go back to what it is at a faster rate. So the reason I bring this up is because in this animated world where Spec is in a coma doing this imaginary training, this is what is probably happening to his body realistically in their sense of the world. So him tensing every part of his body is giving him enough stimulus as if he is able to regain what he is meant to look like, but there's a bunch of other BS that just like doesn't add up with it in certain things. Like, you know, what did he eat to get that size? Again, it's just a stimulation. But then you find out from various people, as I talked about in my Uncle Iro video, that sometimes it just takes repeated stimulation over and over and over again to rebuild yourself up if you've lost your gains in a certain sense. But I talk about that so fully in depth in that video if you want to see more on the topic. And again, muscles may shrink due to inactivity or protein degradation, but those myonuclei are literally with you till you die. Like, there were different studies showed that they are with you until the day you die. They are ride or die. They are freaking Linda from Bob's Burgers in your cells, Hey Arnold from Hey Arnold in your cells all day. They got your back. They are the ride or die people for you. So they're pretty awesome. But in our world, while it's highly, and I do mean highly unlikely that someone could do this. I mean, never say never, right? I mean, like, everything is literally impossible until someone does it. So there could be some like crazy situation later on in the future, and you can come back to this video and be like, holy crap, Jax was right. This guy did this and this, or this guy happened in a coma or something like that. Then that can be your information right there. But yeah, that is just one of those very rare situations that I'm just like, yeah, that's insane. But dudes and dudettes, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you learned something. I hope this was just a fun video to talk about. Like, I kind of want to do more of this stuff, like Baki BS, because there's a ton of BS stuff in Baki that I would like to be like, I know what you're going for, but you're explaining it in a way where it's just like, I even talked about this in my Baki with that workout. Again, like, if you check on my channel, I have tons of things on various series because I'm a colossal nerd for all this stuff. So if you hit that bell icon and subscribe, you'll never be bored. Like, I have a ton of stuff here, like if you just go through the playlist. But leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Tell me who was your favorite prisoner in the Baki arc. And also, if you made it to this far in the video, I'd like to do a little test. So if you made it this far, type coma gains in the description. Now, that is something I would never think I would say, but yeah, coma gains just for Spec, because yeah, there you go, down below, because yeah, this was fascinating. And also be sure to hit that bell icon and subscribe, hit that like button. It really helps the video out a lot. And sorry, I've just been like gone, like taking care of a lot of personal stuff and adulting stuff, so I haven't been able to upload as frequently. And again, thank you all so much for everyone who always like is very encouraging. They're sending me stuff like, oh yeah, we want you back and all this stuff, and I really truly appreciate it. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I love talking about this stuff. You'll never like have to worry about me like, you know, going away for a bit. So I just want to say that thank you so much for all your support, and remember, like I always say, keep calm, booyah on, and don't forget Momentai. Maybe next time I'll talk about how like, oh, Muhammad Ali broke his bones and somehow became a mega simp and blah blah blah. I don't know. Whatever, but I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.